Dear students, good morning. I am Pradeep Bhattakur sir. Today, in our second session of Class 10 English, we will continue with the remaining part of the poem The Tale of Custard the Dragon by Ogden Nash from the 7th stanza. The 7th stanza reads as, Suddenly, they heard a nasty sound, and Mustard growled, and they all looked around. Mioch, cried Ink, and ooh, cried Belinda, for there was a pirate climbing in the window. As the four characters, that is Belinda, Blink, Ink, and Mustard, were making fun of Custard, the situation changed all of a sudden. They heard a nasty sound suddenly. Nasty means highly unpleasant or dangerous. Mustard, the little dog, growled or made a low, harsh sounding sound of anger. All of them looked around to find out the source of that nasty sound. Ink, the little black kitten, and Belinda made characteristic sounds out of concern or worry, because they could see a pirate or a person who commits acts of robbery of ships at sea. The pirate was climbing in the window. They all could understand that the pirate was not there with good intentions, and so all of them were deeply worried. In this stanza of two rhyming couplets with AABB rhyme scheme, the poet has used the poetic device of consonants in the first line. We see the repeated use of the S sound in the first line, in suddenly again, suddenly, and sound. The word suddenly has been used twice in succession to emphasize the suddenness of the incident. Onomatopoeic words growled and mute have also been used. Now the 8th stanza. Pistol in his left hand, pistol in his right, and he held in his teeth a cutlass bright. His beard was black, one leg was wood. It was clear that the pirate meant no good. The pirate had a menacing appearance. He had pistols in both his left and right hands. In his teeth, he was holding a bright cutlass. A cutlass is a short sword with a slightly curved blade. Thus, he had no good purpose in coming there. He was armed to the teeth and had definitely come to loot. And if anybody came in his way, he was ready to harm them. The blackness of his beard showed that he was a young person. His wooden leg showed that he might have lost his leg in some dangerous activity. In spite of his physical disability, he could instill fear in others. The poetic device of repetition has been used in the first line when the pistol word is repeated to emphasize the dangerousness of the situation. Alliteration is seen in the third line with repetition of B sound in beard and black. The poet has been able to present a clear picture of the pirate, which is an example of imagery. The ninth stanza reads as, Belinda paled and she cried, "Help, help." But Mustard fled with a terrified yelp. Ink trickled down to the bottom of the household, and little Mouse blinked strategically, mousehold. Out of great fear, on seeing the pirate, Belinda's face lost its lustre or brightness, and she cried out for help. She felt helpless in front of the heavily armed pirate. But Mustard, the little dog, instead of staying by the side of its master, fled in terror with a terrified yelp. A yelp is a sharp, shrill cry. It ran for its life, and Ink, the little black kitten, trickled down or went away slowly in extreme fear for its life to the bottom of the household. It went into hiding, and Blink, the little mouse, entered its hole to save itself. Strategically, here would mean in a cunning way. So all the characters who had been making fun of Custard because they had boastful ideas of being courageous, deserted their master in the face of danger and fled for their lives. In this stanza, the poetic device of repetition has been used in the first line, where the word help has been repeated to emphasize the desperate or grave situation Belinda finds herself in. Terrified yelp is an example of a transferred epithet, because instead of modifying Mustard, the adjective terrified has been used to modify yelp, and the stanza has two rhyming couplets. Now the 10th stanza. But up jumped Custard, snorting like an engine, clashed his tail like irons in a dungeon. With a clatter and a clank and a jangling squirm, he went to the pirate like a robin at a worm. In this stanza, we see that Custard, the dragon, who everyone was making fun of as being timid or fearful, fearlessly jumps into action when faced with danger. He snorts like an engine. To snort is to make an explosive sound by the sudden forcing of breath through the nose. It is an expression of bold resistance. Custard clashed his tail, or with great force hit his tail on the ground. It sounded like iron chains clashing onto each other in an underground prison, making sounds as if hard metallic objects were striking against each other. The dragon squirmed or wriggled and went at, or suddenly and violently attacked the pirate. It seemed like a robin was attacking a worm. In this stanza, snorting like an engine, clashed his tails like irons in a dungeon, and he went at the pirate like a robin at a worm, are similes. Onomatopoeic words clatter, clank, and jangling have been used. The imagery of Custard attacking the pirate has also been clearly depicted. The stanza here too has two rhyming couplets. The 11th stanza reads as, "The pirate gaped at Belinda's dragon, and gulped some grog from his pocket flagon. He fired 2 bullets, but they didn't hit, and Custard gobbled him every bit." At the sudden and violent attack by Belinda's pet little dragon, the pirate was awestruck and gaped or stared open-mouthed at the little dragon in amazement. He was not at all expecting such a sudden and violent attack upon him. In a state of excitement, accompanied by fear, the pirate gulped or hastily swallowed some grog or liquor from his pocket flagon or vessel. He fired 2 bullets from his pistols at the dragon, but they missed the target. Custard didn't miss the opportunity. He gobbled or ate noisily and hurriedly the pirate, without leaving one bit of him. In these rhyming couplets, alliteration is seen in the repetition of G sound in gulped and grog, and B sound in bullets and but. The imagery of the pirate's reaction on seeing the dragon's reaction and the dragon's action of gobbling up the pirate is also seen. The 12th stanza reads as, "Belinda embraced him, Mustard licked him, no one mourned for his pirate victim. Ink and blink in glee did gyrate around the dragon that ate the pirate." In these rhyming couplets, we see all the characters who were earlier making fun of Custard's timidity, treating him with respect like a hero. Belinda embraced him, and Mustard, in the characteristic style of a dog's expression of joy, licked him. Ink and blink gyrated or went in circular motion around Custard in great delight. All because Custard ate their enemy, the pirate. But no one felt any sorrow for the victim, the pirate, an evil character. They were all happy. In this stanza, we see repetition of the word him in the first line to emphasize upon the dragon, the hero of the moment. Assonance or use of vowel sound O is seen in no one mourned for. Then I sound in ink blink in glee did, and a sound in dragon that ate the pirate. Alliteration is seen in glee and gyrate. The 13th stanza reads as, "But presently up spoke little dog Mustard. I would have been twice as brave if I hadn't been flustered. And up spoke ink and up spoke blink. Would have been 3 times as brave, we think." And Custard said, "I quite agree that everybody is braver than me." In this stanza, we see that soon after joyfully greeting Custard, Mustard boasts that he would have been twice as brave as Custard if he had not been confused or nervous. He was trying to express that being confused or nervous when faced with sudden danger and running away was quite natural. And ink and blink boasted even further that they thought that they would have been 3 times as brave as Custard. But Custard, the hero that he was like a true brave heart, humble in victory. He didn't boast about his personal bravery, but like someone with a mature outlook, tried to boost the confidence of the other characters and make them feel good by agreeing that everybody was braver than himself. He could understand that they were all feeling bad at their behavior. This stanza has 3 rhyming couplets. Here we see the repetition of the expression up spoke 3 times to emphasize the fact that all the characters, other than Custard, could only talk boastfully about themselves and not act when the situation demanded. Now the 14th stanza reads as, "Belinda still lives in her little white house with her little black kitten and her little gray mouse and her little yellow dog and her little red wagon and her realio, trulio little pet dragon." This stanza is almost a repetition of the first stanza of the poem. It only tells us that life continues as usual, as it was before the pirate episode, with all the little pet characters living in the little house with their little master, Belinda. The repetition of the realio trulio expression in the last line of the first, third, fifth, and 14th stanza is an example of the poetic device of refrain. The last stanza reads as, "Belinda is as brave as a barrel full of beers, and ink and blink chase lions down the stairs. Mustard is as brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard keeps crying for a nice, safe cage." This stanza is again almost a repetition of the fourth stanza. It only tells us of the present behavior of the characters, with all characters other than Custard behaving as if they were all very brave. Custard, still like a dormant volcano with fire inside, keeps crying for a nice, safe cage. So that is the end of the poem. That's all for today. Thank you, students. Have a nice day.